Hey, this is Jim McDonald. Welcome to episode 204 of the PowerCast. This episode brings back Ben Smith, the CrossFit Games champion from a couple of years ago, and his brothers, Dane and Alec. This is significant because they all three do CrossFit, and in the most recent regionals, Ben and Alec both qualified for the game, so they'll be competing against each other, believe it or not. So we had them all on at the beginning, actually at the beginning of the open season, and so they're talking prospectively in the course of this show. We will be back on Friday with an additional episode of the PowerCast with Mark's dad, Mike, and for Father's Day special. So like and share this episode, and we will see you again on Friday. Support for this episode of the PowerCast comes from 8-Man Apparel for people who lift heavy weights at 8manstrong.com. Compex Muscle Stim products at CompexUSA.com. Use the code PowerCast and get an additional 28% discount. HowMuchYouBench.net, home of Mark Bell's Slingshot. Bench heavy with no pain with Mark Bell's Slingshot. And Bodybuilding.com, the world's largest fitness website and supplement store. Bodybuilding.com has free plans for every level. Visit Bodybuilding.com today to become your best self.
Recorded live in West Sacramento, California, this is Mark Bell's PowerCast.
This week's guests, Ben, Alec, and Dane Smith.
Standing just to the left of Jim McDonald, here's your host, Mark Bell.
Oh, look at that. We're all recording. All right.
Is it working?
It's working.
It worked the first time you clicked it?
It did.
Holy shit.
Today's a special day.
Yeah. And then we, kind of started on time.
Kind of, yeah.
9:36 start time.
Yeah.
We're trying for 9:30. That's a world record for us.
I think it is. Yeah.
We're not normally on time ever.
No.
We're normally pretty far behind. We're here today with the Smith Bros, CrossFit guys, and of each one of you guys kind of introduce yourself so that way people can know your voice.
I'm Alec Smith. I'm 24 years old, and I'm the middle Smith, oldest, youngest.
I'm Dane Smith. I'm 20 years old. I'm the youngest one.
Do they pick on you a lot?
They used to.
They don't mess with you anymore?
No, I'm getting up there now.
You got You know, the best.
We were good. We were good brothers.
The best way to counteract that is just to act fucking crazy. And then they're like, fuck, man, I don't know what he's going to do.
He was crazy.
That espresso shot set him off today. Temple Coffee.
Then don't know what's going to happen now.
Nobody knows.
Never know.
So scared.
And here's Ben Smith.
And I'm Ben Smith, and I'm the oldest brother. So.
And you did a little thing called winning the CrossFit Games a little while
Yes,
back.
we all do CrossFit. So.
Yeah.
Yep. Been to the games a couple times. This year will be my 9th year, and then these guys are both going to regionals this year, and this is your third regionals.
Fifth.
What? Yeah, fifth regionals. Okay.
Time flies.
Dane's second.
Your brother's never going to give you the credit you deserve. Just get used to that right now.
Time does fly. Sorry. Yes, but they're both going to regionals again this year, and along with a bunch of other people from the gym, so it's pretty cool.
How many people from your gym made it to regionals?
So we have 6 individual competitors, 4 men, 2 women, and then 3 masters and 3 teens.
So that means you guys are competing against each other?
Yes.
Yes.
The plot thickens.
Not as bad as UFC, right? Not as bad as getting in the ring with each other and having to beat the crap out of each other. But how do you guys deal with that? How do you guys deal with kind of the ups and downs of winning and losing against each other?
We train together every day, so it's kind of just like another day at the gym. We'll know the workouts beforehand, so we'll kind of know who's better at them and who can do what with them. But,
right.
Yeah, it's just another day in the gym. We have fun competing and training with each other.
You sometimes, like for you being the oldest, were you kind of like, what the hell are these guys doing? Like when they started kind of catching up?
Yeah, so they were both, like Alec was a gymnast, so he did gymnastics his whole life, like really high level competition, like wanted to go to the Olympics and everything. And Dane played baseball and was just a freak athlete, like super fast, super well conditioned. And then they picked up CrossFit, and they both got they were right at like my strength level within a couple years. And it's like I've been doing this for 8 or 9 years, and they just hopped right in, and they're right there with me, and they're beating me in workouts. And it's
I know we talked about them both the first time you were on the show when you were on with Brian Shaw.
Yeah.
Like, which one of them are you more scared of?
No, I mean they're both really good in different ways, though. That's the thing. So like, Alec's really like a high level gymnastic stuff, and he's skill work. He's super strong, and then Dane is just like always just the workouts that just beat your face into the ground for a long period of time. Dane's awesome at those, and he just works, And
Rabid dog.
they're both really good in different areas, and that's why we all push each other. So it's a pretty cool environment at the gym.
So, if you don't win, which one of them do you want to win?
I want us all to go to the games. That's the goal, right? I'd be just as stoked if they made it to the games and I didn't.
How many
really?
people,
Yes, for sure.
How many people from the region go to the games?
5. So maybe someday we can take up all 5 of those spots from Krypton.
That's pretty cool that you have so many people going to the games. Now your whole family's involved in everything. Like your dad's into working out, and your mom runs some of the business stuff, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. My dad's always wanted to run a gym since he was younger, so that's like his dream job. He has a full-time engineering job, and he helps out at the gym, loves being at the gym.
Is he really, really precise about everything?
Yes.
Yeah.
Engineers and accountants, man, that's just their
20
jam.
years in the military and an engineer, so it's
yeah.
that'll do it.
Yeah. He'll clean the gym every night and make sure everything is spotless every single night.
Yeah. I asked him, what it's like to get you guys to do some work, because guys that work out, it's hard to get them to move a fucking couch or to do anything, right? That's not gym related. And he was like, "Oh, you can't even get them to move a glass of water. It's impossible."
We're like the laziest fit people in the world. That's what CrossFitters are.
Well, you expend so much energy that it makes you laxed, and then even your temperament and stuff. You kind of you end up being a little bit more laid back. Some people still have the intensity and fire kind of in their day-to-day life, but usually when you exercise really hard, you are kind of more relaxed.
You're taking the edge off, I guess.
Yeah, you're not as grumpy and as pissed off as some other people might be. When did you start your gym?
I think it was about 4 years ago. Coming up on 4 years. It'll be 4 years this year.
Right. And then, what does your mom do for the gym in particular?
So she helps us with all the online stuff, we sell some T-shirts online. She helps me with memberships, people that come and go with memberships, and
cool.
I have some online programming. She helps me with the managing the people coming in and out of that. Just a lot of behind the scenes stuff.
She actually train at the gym?
She works out. She dabbles
A little bit here and there. And then Dad too. Does he train at the gym?
He does when he's not hurt, right?
Yeah.
And when the camera people are here to film Ben.
And,
Well, you can't miss those opportunities.
No.
and his main thing is the deadlift, right?
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Pulled 600 last year and wants to. I mean, he squatted it before, but he wants to squat 500. He's got a fake knee, so wants to squat 500 this year. Still really strong. I don't know how he does it, but
he has a fake knee because
years of football, military, getting beat up.
Damn.
So
Mark mentioned that he had a kind of a storied football career.
yeah, he was running back at Navy he played mostly 88, 89 were his last 2 years. And he was a candidate up for the Heisman and everything. And
That's crazy.
So I hold some records for some touchdowns and stuff like that.
Too bad you guys couldn't have gotten better genetics. I don't know.
Yeah, and
I got
also
pretty
a white running back.
Yeah, that's amazing.
That's probably the last white running back anybody's ever seen. Pretty much. So growing up, was just fitness part of everything? Were you guys, just doing a lot of stuff outdoors, or you were working out?
What
or?
did you do?
Yeah. We were thrown into a bunch of different sports growing up. I mostly did gymnastics. They played baseball, so we weren't too competitive growing up unless we were racing or doing something that all three of us could do at the same time. But yeah, we were always in a sport. No matter what season it was, we were in something.
Were you thinking about Olympics, or were you just thinking about just going as far as you could in terms of a high school, college time frame, or what?
Yeah, I mean, my dream was to make the Olympics.
Yeah.
I stopped when I was 12 because of an injury.
Yeah.
So I didn't really get to the college level yet, but that was what I wanted to do when I grew up.
How did you deal with that injury at that point? having had that dream of the Olympics?
It was tough. I had to take about 1.5 years off of all sports, just because it was my shoulder. I was in a car accident, and I had to.
Wow! So not even training related.
No, it wasn't. It's called an avulsion fracture. So my ligament came off the bone, so they had to shorten the ligament, shave the bone down, and like reattach it. So it was a long recovery. Yeah.
Oh my God!
But
how did your folks deal with you during that period of time?
It wasn't too bad. I just kind of sat on the couch and went to school, and didn't do too much.
He grew like 6 inches over the summer.
Yeah, so I stopped gymnastics and grew like a foot, like within that year.
Wow,
it was crazy.
I sprouted up fast.
He was like 5'1", 5'2", and then just shot up that summer when he just rested and because he couldn't do anything.
So I always say gymnastics stunts your growth. So I'm curious if I would be like 5'4" or 5'5", like if I kept with it.
Why are you pointing at him?
We could be the same height.
Smokey feels your pain over there. Look at him shaking his head.
When I had my shoulder surgery, I heard that story, and I was like, hey, maybe I'll grow like 5 inches.
It didn't happen.
Didn't happen.
Well, did you have to take 1.5 years off for it though?
It's like 7 to 8 months. Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah,
So
for all
For
three
the
of them.
first one.
Yeah, for all 3.
And then he had 2 more.
what did you do to your shoulder?
I played baseball in high school. Yeah, my conditioning came from like when I was 9 years old. My coach used to run us into the ground playing baseball. He like conditioned the crap out of us.
At 9 years old? That's
Yeah,
awesome.
like we were like 9, 10, 11
Fan of
years
this
old.
guy already.
You would have liked him, but yeah, I just heard it sliding head first when I played baseball. I slid pretty hard into bases, and I guess that's how they just popped out, and my arm was like dangling, and they had to pop it back in. Yeah.
Oh, that's why they're supposed to teach the foot first slide, but a lot of guys can't do that.
Try to teach this guy to slide like that. He's already running full speed. He's the fastest kid alive on the bases.
Yeah.
So running full speed head first is easier than feet first.
Well, feet first is not a natural instinct.
Yeah.
Like your body is propelling forward.
Right,
it's
right.
not,
Yeah, some people actually kind of flip over when they do
Right,
that.
yeah, exactly.
It's not a natural thing, and it's kind of you kind of get kind of uncoordinated with
Yeah.
it.
You guys still big baseball fans?
Yeah. No, I don't. Not as much anymore, but
Yeah.
I am. I like watching
Cleveland
it.
Indians
yeah,
fans.
we were this
Yeah.
year. The Indians almost won, so we were watching the playoffs. And
Family's originally from Ohio.
Yeah, they're from Cleveland, Charlottesville area.
And you guys are in Virginia?
Or Virginia,
Yeah.
Chesapeake, Virginia.
So what CrossFit region is that?
The Atlantic, right? Is it the Atlantic?
Yeah, Mid-Atlantic.
Mid-Atlantic.
They
and the
changed
Atlantic
everything.
region.
It's
They change it. They change it a lot.
Difficult to understand. So what day do you guys compete then?
The first weekend of June.
June.
We want to take a second and talk about our sponsor, Movement Watches. If you go to mvmt.com/PowerCast, you can get 15% off your order plus free shipping and
awesome.
free returns. With Father's Day coming up, and the watches only start at like $95. That's a good way to give Dad a substantial gift because this is a really sweet looking watch.
Yeah,
for
you
not much
bums,
money.
get something for your dad. Why not get him a sweet watch? These watches look great. They function great. And you can tell your dad what time it is.
And act today because, today's Wednesday, so you need to order today. And if you don't get it by then, you tell Dad, give him a picture of it and say he's coming to you, ship it directly to him. And
That's always the best. Give him a receipt.
Yeah,
This is on its way.
This is what it looks like, Dad. Anyway, get 15% off today, free shipping and free returns, mvmt.com/PowerCast. Join the movement.
Dane, you were mentioning some brutal workouts your coach would put you through. Are those kind of like legendary, like in the town? Like, does everybody know about that coach? And like people talk about it all the time. Like, shit, man, don't mess with Coach whatever his name is.
They kind of did in a way. They didn't really. Yeah, everyone knew he was hard on us, and it was basically CrossFit. But it was kind of like. It was a mixture of strength and CrossFit. They were like just circuits. Like you had 1 minute on this station, 1 minute on that station, for like an hour.
What do you think he was trying to teach you? I mean, obviously he's trying to get you like in better shape.
He was big into discipline.
Right.
So like if you could spend like the entire hour working out hard, then I feel like he would think you're disciplined enough to go like out on a baseball game and sit there for 2 hours and play.
Yeah, it is weird. Baseball's kind of stagnant a lot of times, especially if you're a kid and you play in the outfield. Could be you go through a whole game and not get a ball even hit your way at all.
Yeah,
games can seem very long though, and like being up in those late innings.
Yeah, you're just on your feet forever.
Yeah, absolutely. And then I'm imagining that weather and humidity probably play a role
Yeah.
in Virginia too.
So is that
hot.
is that kind of where fitness started for you? Was on the baseball field?
Absolutely. And in his little gym, in his batting cages he owned, that's where fitness started for me.
Did you guys lift at that young age?
No, he wasn't big into benching or anything like that. We just did like body weight stuff, and we had this bucket of rice. He likes details and discipline and stuff like that. We had this bucket of rice we had to dig into for our grip. And he said that every grain of rice he found on the ground, we had to do like 100 push-ups for it. So like he found 5 one time, and we spent like 30 minutes just all doing 500 push-ups that night.
That's hardcore, right there.
Yeah.
Back in the old location of super training, we used to have a bucket of rice like that, but like people would leave the lid off of it, and there were rats in that part of town, and so it was nasty.
It didn't work.
No, it didn't work out.
We had to move to sand.
Yeah.
We had to move on to something else. How about for you, Ben? How did fitness start for you?
I feel like I've always kind of been into it a little bit, and started back when I was like maybe 12 or something, 12 or 13. We were like middle school when you first play some sports and football, and you're like, how do I get better? Like I want to be stronger, want to be faster. Like kind of looking into that, started getting into some bench press, some pull ups, some body weight movements, and then was introduced to like squats playing football in 8th grade and stuff like that. And then really got into it in high school a little bit more, and then found CrossFit and kind of just I loved it. I love the challenge. I love the discipline part of it. How it's kind of become a lifestyle, and it's like you're fitter, but you're also stronger, and that kind of thing.
Did your dad teach you about lifting or anything like that, or was it kind of more of a separate?
Yeah, I mean, he was always like, as kids, like growing up, we were always, he would always like challenge us, little challenges here and there. Like we'd always do some fun stuff. Every time we see a pull-up bar, we do as many pull-ups as we could, that kind of thing. And it's, he's always been into fitness, so it's kind of like we were always around it.
Right.
So it kind of seemed natural to just try it out.
But he wasn't like, hey, here's how you lift.
Never pushed us to do it. I mean, he taught us if we had questions, that kind of thing, but never pushed us to do anything we didn't want to do. Because we all did different sports, and they always just supported us with whatever we wanted to do.
Was he lifting during that time?
He did a lot during when he played football, but like super strong, but then kind of just lifted here and there, just kind of like he does now. Just on and off kind of thing, not like all the time. Not
I know what
obsessed
that's
with
like.
Yeah, he's always in really good shape, though. You know.
Yeah.
Guys of a certain age, you do kind of pulse off and on it because like
he's like when everything feels good, he uses it. So like he'll go to the gym, he's like has a good day and deadlifts 600 pounds, and then doesn't deadlift again for another 5 months. You know. Yeah. So uses it when he can.
I know what that's like.
The with you three guys, all doing CrossFit now and being competitive with each other. When you were kids, was there a lot of competition? Did you guys? It seems like you guys get along really well now. Yeah. When you were kids, was it always that way? Did you guys get along really well?
We always fought
on and off. We're brothers. We fight. We make up. We were competitive when it came to like who was the fastest.
Running was always the thing. Yeah. Because it was like. Yeah, because he got like super fast in middle school when he did track and everything, and like he's still really, really fast. Like you'd be surprised. And then I'm probably the slowest out of all three of them. And I finished 6th at the games in the sprint, and they both would smoke me in that.
Yeah.
So
wow,
they're fast.
Who would win now? You think?
Ask them. That's a good question.
I don't know. We'll have to see.
We'll have to race.
It depends on how far you ran and stuff like that. Too,
yeah, definitely how far.
40,
yeah, like I'd say Dane would win a short one, but then if you go anything over 40 meters, Alec would catch him. Like Alec's just just a train, just keeps going after 40 meters, like picks up speed.
That's pretty cool. Do you think, so your start, I would imagine, and for the rest of you might be, for Alec, sounds like it might be a little bit different. You kind of started a little bit of CrossFit type thing. For yourself, though, it's probably more just like lifting, right?
Yeah, I just wanted to kind of be stronger.
Doing pull-ups and bench pressing and things like that. Did you guys have weights at your house or anything?
We did. I kind of always tried to get, like my dad had some weights left over, and then we always set up a little pull-up bar. Alec had Alec had a pommel horse and a rings in the basement because he would practice for gymnastics.
So there's a little variety from the beginning.
There was. It was always like I was doing muscle-ups when I was like 13, 14 because I saw Alec doing muscle-ups, and that was like a basic gymnastics skill, and I was like, hey, I want to learn how to do that. And I just tried.
That came in handy.
Yeah, it came in handy later on, right?
It's going to be a thing.
Yeah.
Now you see people struggling to do a muscle-up, you're like, oh.
Yeah.
I've been doing that since I was a kid.
Yeah. But I was always like makeshift. Like I needed a squat rack, and I took an old Smith machine that a neighbor had and took it apart and made it into a squat rack. You know? So like,
how old are you did that?
Like in high school, like 16. You know, so about that time is when I started getting real into it.
I have that old school Bowflex machine.
Yeah, we had like all those things. We went through all those phases, you know, and yeah. It's cool.
You could squat in a Bowflex. You could do a leg press in a Bowflex. Bench press.
What do you think about people just starting out in CrossFit? You know, it seems like a lot of the OG CrossFitters, the Jason Kalipas, the Rich Fronings, and a lot of the guys that have done really well, seems like they've experimented in fitness a little bit. Maybe did a little bit of bodybuilding type stuff. Maybe possibly a little bit of powerlifting even, or Olympic lifting in the case of like Matt Frazier. What do you think of people just kind of starting out with CrossFit?
Yeah, I mean, you kind of already have like a thought of what CrossFit is based off of what you always see online. Like you see the CrossFit Games and you see the cross fail videos and all that stuff, and it's like you just kind of have to just ease your way into it and kind of mix it in with what you're doing. Like just try it. Like you have to be open to like, hey, let me just try a workout, see if this will help or benefit me. And as long as you're doing something, it doesn't have to be CrossFit. As long as you're moving around and getting fitter, I think it's going to benefit you in any part. Like if you're a powerlifter or a strongman or CrossFitter, like increasing your fitness level will help you with all of that stuff.
One of our friends is one of those famous CrossFit videos.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Chad Augustine is in the one where like there's a band hanging off of his neck, and then there's a girl doing like push-ups off the band or something like that. That's a friend of mine. That was not technically a CrossFit competition.
Yeah, I don't know where some of
the
stuff
craziest
happens.
stuff come from the competitions that are not CrossFit. Right? I mean,
talking about like the rings where they like had the rings hanging off his neck.
Yeah, that's what
I saw that.
Yeah, the girl's like ass or crotch. Like
right.
It's like somebody had something really awesome in mind when they thought of that.
This was better when I thought of it, and not in real life.
Who does the programming at your gym?
I do the programming.
You set it up for these guys to fail?
No. We make it pretty even, and then occasionally they'll throw in a workout here or there, and we're always open to trying whatever. So,
who's got the strongest bench?
I benched 310.
Yeah, and that beats me. Mine's like 305. So,
who's got the strongest squat?
I got that one. Dane's close too.
I think I've seen you squat 500 for a few reps, right? 2-3 reps.
Yeah, I hit 495 for 3, and then I hit 520 was my best single.
Wow.
What's your body weight?
I was like 190 then. Oh, yeah. I'm like 195 now. Put on a little bit of weight.
All those steroids.
Right.
5 pound, 5 pound jump.
Yeah, all that muscle.
Is it true or false that you get tested every time you leave Super Training Gym?
Yeah.
CrossFit people show up at your door like, what's going on?
Now you guys have to run the app, but that says where you are, or
they have like a you send out an email. I guess there's like a pool of athletes that are mostly like games athletes that, hey, we want to know where you are going to be so that they can randomly test you whenever throughout the year. So we have to like always provide where we're going and stuff like that. So
have you been surprise tested out of competition?
Last time, we were in Wadapalooza. I think I got tested down in Wadapalooza.
Dubai too, right?
Team competition. No,
not Dubai.
Yeah, no, not Dubai. A couple other guys, I guess, were tested in Dubai.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty crazy to me that you guys have traveled the world essentially.
Yeah.
Through just working out.
It's opened up some pretty cool opportunities.
You ended up in Dubai. How the hell did that? What's that about?
Yeah. Last year, we met Saud, and he was actually at the CrossFit Games just spectating, and he ended up being the person that ran this competition and invited us all out there. This was a really cool opportunity. I got the chance to go to Iceland and lift with the mountain this year, which was
awesome.
It was the cool. It was the coolest experience ever. And then just traveling around Miami for Wadapalooza. It's awesome. It's a lot of fun.
What did you lift with him?
So it was like a strongman meets CrossFit type competition, and they brought him out, and then everybody else was just CrossFitters.
Yeah.
And so it was teams, and one of the events was a max clean, and there were just 2 people at a time. So I was on the left, he was on the right, and we started at 325 and just worked our way up to. I ended up with 390. He hit like a 410 muscle clean, and then he like strict pressed it afterwards. But it was really cool just seeing the difference between like a 420 pound guy and then like I'm like 185 and we were just lifting next to each other. He's muscle cleaning it. I have to squat clean it, and I'm struggling to stand it up, but it was really fun. It was cool.
How do you know like who's legit and who's not? You know, when you have like some of these different people, you know, just a random guy invites you to Dubai, some weird shit could go down, right? Like, hey, you guys are gonna wear these, like a string bikini or some shit. Do you guys like know other people that are going to those events too? And then
yeah.
You
So
kind of check around a little bit.
The Dubai competition, it was their 3rd year they had done it, and I'm friends with Kenny Leverich, who did the year before. So he was telling me how much fun he had and the experience. So
yeah, and then I went the year after him with Dane also. So it was like he went first.
He was the lab rat.
Yeah. I went by myself the first year, and then I was like, Ben and Dane, you guys have to come with me this year.
And you guys went to Hawaii as well. Like you did that that run,
trail run with Progenics.
What's that
cool.
about?
Yeah. So that's for it's like a fundraiser kind of for all the kids on the island. They run like a CrossFit, kind of like a CrossFit Kids thing.
Right.
It's like a community center. They just give back to all the kids on the island, and but they have this race, and it's through, like, they cut a trail through the side of the mountain.
Oh, yeah?
It's like 10 kilometers, and it's just the craziest trail you'll ever run. People
Pretty
were like,
brutal.
Yeah, people were like, people that have run like those Spartan races and like the intense trail runs are like, that was insane. Like, straight uphill. You
like
have to use
knee
ropes
deep
to get
in
uphill.
mud.
You're in mud. You're like knee deep in mud at one point, and then you're like, the views are just crazy. You're running on the side of a cliff and everything.
I was going to say,
it was fun.
Like in danger of falling into your death at any point.
You could have easily done that.
Oh wow!
Easily on multiple points.
Yeah, that ups the ante a little bit, doesn't it?
Yeah, but it was a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
What do you think about like CrossFit? You know, solving some of the problems of like obesity and diabetes and kidney failure and all these different things that you hear. I don't know how much you guys hear from Greg Glassman, but some of the campaigns that he goes on, some of the speeches that he gives, he's talking about these types of things. He's talking about, you know, the fight against sugar and against Pepsi and Coke and all these different things. How do you guys feel about that? Do you think that CrossFit can help solve some of these problems?
I mean, definitely. So, I mean, what you've gotten with CrossFit is just that CrossFit just renamed a new a version of high-intensity interval training that's been around for a long time. Right? It's just kind of like a new form of training that's come about, and it's got the name CrossFit, and it teaches people to be a little bit more disciplined with their life, and not just like you see a lot of people in the country fall into the trap of like eating too much sugar or drinking too much this. It's just kind of like you can go a route where you're doing too much of one thing, and it's going to make you unhealthy. So CrossFit does help balance that out, and it kind of provides, the gyms provide good positive environments, and like just like it's kind of like a, I don't know how to describe it, but I think it's great, and in the long run it will, like if people are open to it and people are open to trying it, I think you're gonna
just attracting more people to moving around, right?
Yeah, sure. That's all it is.
Big part of it.
As long as you're doing something, you're gonna get healthier.
Everybody talks about the community aspect of CrossFit, but like one of the challenging things about being someone who goes to a Globo gym or whatever is that it's hard to have somebody to work out with.
It is, and you don't know what you're doing sometimes,
right.
and it's just the CrossFit gym helps give you that guidance. If they're a good gym, like you don't have to try it out. It's like going to a doctor. You want to find the right one.
And you've been there a while. You're always going to see somebody you recognize. You're usually going to see a coach you know, and all that.
You have
kind
friends,
of stuff.
at the gym,
right,
that are there helping you, like keeping you accountable. That's the biggest thing. Like we talked about that this morning, like discipline, being able to like say, hey, I'm going to do this, or I want to do this, and then having the discipline to do it every single day. You know, having a friend there helps you. You know, at a CrossFit gym, having a coach there that's going to, emailing you, hey, where you been the last couple of weeks? We miss you at the gym.
If nobody's counting on you to be there, and you're not going to see anybody that you know, then it's easier to stay home. Mm-hmm. That's really what
it's just kind of CrossFit's just creating that community that helps people do that.
Yeah,
that's all.
Do you guys feel that you guys communicate with each other pretty well? Like, you know, he's kind of the gymnastics guy. And each one of you guys has your own like attributes and stuff. Do you guys try to say, hey, like, you know, I hate going on those runs. Just make me go. Like I'm going to bitch, but make me fucking run. Like you guys kind of have those conversations sometimes.
I have that conversation in my head with them because I would like to beat them one day, and if I would like to beat them, I'd have to get good at doing the stuff I don't like to do. Right. You have to be good at everything in CrossFit. And
so sometimes here, you know, at super training, like when we're working out and somebody has a big lift to do for the day, and you guys know this, you get a lot of like workout anxiety. Like working out is like kind of healthy, and then the extremes that we all take it to is not really that healthy. And then the anxiety that you have associated with certain types of workouts sometimes can be a real problem. Like you're really fucking stressed about it. And so for some of these guys, in some cases, they're squatting 700 pounds or 800 pounds. And they may not communicate that to somebody when they come in, or they may not communicate that to as many people as they maybe should before they get to a competition. You know, it'd be great if someone said, "Hey, my goal is to squat 800 pounds, and I need your help." You know, but as guys, like, you don't really talk that way. You know, so we don't have those conversations sometimes. And sometimes what happens is we'll get midway through a workout, someone will be at like 400 pounds. We don't know what their plan is for the day. We don't know what they're doing. And half the gym may leave because they may be done with their workout. Then the guy's all pissed, you know. Do you guys have conversations sometimes in the gym with some of the clients that you may have about, you know, setting goals and being accountable for those goals and those types of things?
Yeah, I mean, like, we could always get better at that. I think we've only been training, like, together for, what, a year, maybe a little over a year, like, where we're all coming in every day consistently. Other times it's always like sporadic here and there. We're traveling or whatever, and we can always get better at. But I think get better at communicating. But I think us training together lately, we've had those, like Dane said, thoughts in our head that we haven't communicated. Like this is a good way to kind of open it up. Yeah. But yeah, I love training with them because I don't normally get to train with people that beat me in workouts, and it's awesome to work out with them who beat me in workouts. Like, sure, it might frustrate me because I'm getting beat in workouts, but I need to do that. I need to push myself a little bit more in training, and I know it's going to benefit me in the long run. So
what's the best way for you guys to help each other, do you think? Like, you know, Dane being the youngest, you know, if he should be watching you the way that you would watch anybody else, right? Like, he should be critical of you even though you're the big bro.
Yeah, so I mean, seeing things that we could all improve on and just letting us know, like being open about it and not having an ego or anything, setting the ego aside.
I think the best way to help each other would be to beat each other in workouts.
True.
Because it makes me go back and look at what I did wrong and what he did differently, and then I go fix that.
Yeah, you know, we have a lot of people that visit the gym, and they'll want to just like watch. And I was like, this gym doesn't work that way. You can't just watch. You got to participate.
It's always been that way from the very beginning, and that's always what people have been told, that, like, participate.
And I'm not asking you to break a world record. I'm not asking you to try to hang with anybody either.
Sure.
Just be part of what we're doing, you know, so that you can really experience it the right way rather than just kind of sitting off in the corner. And like you said, the best way for you to help each other is to kick each other's ass. You know, if you come in and you're like, man, last 3 weeks in a row, Ben has had a fire up his ass. I don't know what is going on. I don't know how much espresso he's had today. When you see him just on fire like that, or your other brother Alec, then it's going to inspire you to like go that extra mile, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
Like some days we come in and like me and Alec may not want to do anything, but Dane wants to do this crazy workout, but me and Alec might not want to do it. It'll probably benefit us, you know, getting kicked up that day.
Being in a group setting, it's kind of interesting because sometimes somebody might feel good for whatever reason. They just come in. They maybe just are more awake than everybody else for whatever reason.
Had an espresso shot.
They don't need to warm up as much. I mean, maybe these guys, just because they're younger, maybe they don't need to warm up as much, right?
Yeah, they can kind of roll right into it still. I'm getting old.
And so even that can push you, though. You just see somebody, you know, moving with purpose, right? You know, even with just the bar, and you're like, oh shit, like it's on. Like today's going to be a rough one, you know?
Yeah.
And then you see them add weight, and with each weight that goes up, they're still moving it flawlessly. You're like, shit, man, I better.
Yeah, that's the beauty of being able to work out with these guys and work out with other people around us, you know. Because then you're on your own, you might slack off a little bit.
Right.
Who are you guys fans of in the CrossFit world, other than each other?
Yeah. You guys got any?
I mean, it's hard because we just have looked up to him. You know, he started CrossFit so early. We all have been to the CrossFit Games since 2009. It's like you see all these athletes come and go, but Ben's always been there. He's been to the games. This will be his 9th year. That's the most out of anybody.
Right.
So it's kind of hard to look up to somebody else when you have your brother to look up to.
That's pretty damn cool. Becca Voigt has been to the CrossFit Games around 9 times as well, right?
She's the only other one, right?
Crazy.
Yeah, it would be her 9th this year also? Or no, she was 9th last year.
Yeah, so it'll be her 10th if she makes it.
Is there kind of just like CrossFit like miles that you have on your body, and like maybe like a certain shelf life associated with it? Are you the
I'm the test. I'm the guinea pig, right? Yeah, because I've been doing this since I was 16, 18, competing since I was 18.
Right. So
training.
Are you
like
26 or 20?
26 now. Yeah. So we'll kind of see. I don't know. I feel I'm on and off. Like sometimes I'm real good. I'll have bits where I'm really good, and then other times I'm not. So it comes and goes.
Right.
We'll see if you're the Cal Ripken of CrossFit.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I was telling him, I was like, I think everyone's just kind of waiting to see what happens.
Okay, they have both had shoulder problems. Have you had any?
No, I haven't had. I had
obviously Dane's was not his own fault, but
no, I haven't. I've gotten lucky, so knock on wood.
That's great. Where do you see CrossFit going? I mean, where do you see CrossFit in 5 years?
It's a good question. I mean, it's grown so much in the last 5.
Yeah, it really has expanded big time.
That's always the question. Like people always ask that, and it's where CrossFit wants to take itself. They they're in the driver's seat, like how much they want to put out there, and I thought they've done a pretty cool job with those last 2 like documentaries and things they made at the CrossFit Games, but they could still do a better job of highlighting how CrossFit is. You can do it at home, or how you can grow the community. There's always a bunch of opportunities out there. So
we had Jason Kalipa in a few weeks ago, and we were talking about the fact that there are a lot of affiliates that are just not making it right now. There's a lot of consolidation because everybody just jumped into the pool at the same time, I guess.
Sure.
Are you seeing any of that where you guys are, or
a little bit? Yeah, we have a big area. There's a lot of gyms around. There's a couple closing down. We're doing well. We're moving into a new space.
Cool.
We're building a new gym, starting hopefully breaking ground this week or next week. And,
awesome.
Yeah, we're doing great. And
so like own the facility as well
yeah,
as the
wow. we own the land, and then we're just putting up a building. And
nice.
It's gonna be great.
That's the way to do it right there.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. You guys, you're competing against each other all the time. Are there other people in the gym that are kind of joining in your group as well, or is it just the bros?
We have 2 girls that made it individually, and then Adam, who's our head coach, who also made it individually. So it's kind of like the 6 of us, and then we have a couple other people who are all improving and doing really well. So we have a solid group that makes you look forward to wanting to come in and train. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, we have a lot of kids that drop, like Dane's friends from college and stuff, that come back for a couple weeks or come back for the summer, and they train with us the whole time.
It's great having new people in the gym.
It's awesome.
It gives you a nice jolt of energy, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think, maybe a misconception, and it's just kind of different for you guys because you guys are definitely on a path of being CrossFit professionals. He's already there, so it is a little bit different for you guys. But I think it's important for people to understand that this was a progression over a long period of time. You weren't just like CrossFit, and you just jumped in and right away you were on paleo diet, or right away you're on some sort of diet and you're counting your calories and everything all in right away. It was a progression. You even yourself just started paying a little bit more attention to your diet recently. So I think Alec, you kind of mentioned something like that as well, right?
Yeah, we've all been doing it for a while. Play around with different diets, like counting macros, trying to do paleo, but it's not always going to be perfect,
right?
Your calorie requirement's got to be pretty prodigious considering the amount of activity you have going on.
Yeah, it's I've counted before I did about 7 months, tried to do the zone or something just to track what I was doing, and made myself more aware of it. Now I don't really have to track it. I kind of can tell. I've changed it up a little bit, but I get about 4,000 calories, and anything under that I'm kind of really tired the next day. We train a lot. So we're training like you would work a 9-to-5 job. We're in the gym at 9, 10 o'clock, and we're working out all day. So it's a lot of training, and you need a lot of food. So,
yeah, I think the point is you don't have to necessarily be a fitness nut. You guys are CrossFit professionals in a way. You're training 3 times a week or 3 times a day. Multiple training sessions within a day, but not everybody necessarily needs to do that. The workout that we did in my garage, my 3rd CrossFit workout ever. Tell them a little bit about that.
Yeah, it was just 15 minutes, and it was it was an EMOM, so meaning 1 minute you do a movement, next minute you do a different movement, next minute you do a different movement, and it was 5 rounds. So we all did the same type of movements. They might have been scaled up or scaled down, but you're just moving for 15 minutes, and it's at your own pace. So it's just however many reps you can get in that minute, you try to sustain that same pace throughout 15 minutes, and it's just you're moving, you're breathing. It's you can make the workout as hard or as easy as you want to make it, and that's CrossFit's high intensity interval training.
You can turn that. I could immediately see, because I'm lazy. You can immediately turn that into a total fat guy workout if you needed to. Those of you that aren't as athletic and can't do handstand push-ups and some other things that they do in CrossFit, you could potentially jump rope for a minute, and then you could walk for a minute, and then you can do squats onto a bench for a minute. It doesn't have to be something that kills you, that you never recover from, that you have a bad experience with. It could be simple exercises. It could be body weight exercises. But doing something for a minute is really challenging. And watching you do it for a minute and your brothers do it for a minute was much different than the pace that I was keeping, and much different than the pace that Charlie was keeping.
Sure.
I think I was hitting about 6 burpees per minute, and you were hitting about 15 each time. And you were kind of mentioning, okay, 6, that's your start. Maybe next time you try 7.
Yeah, and you just try to beat your best. You know, it's like training for the CrossFit Games is totally different than just training to be fit. Like, but that's what we do in the gym. Like, I can do the same workouts at the gym that the 62-year-old grandmother is also doing the same workout, but it's just a scaled back version. Like, you just have to know how to scale the movement. Like, you might be doing handstand push-ups, maybe you do push-ups, maybe you do push-ups on a box, you know, that kind of thing.
And training multiple times a day isn't just about volume. It's about sort of trying to match the conditions of the competition.
Sure.
Because you're in several workouts over the course of a couple of days.
Yeah, we'll have 15 at the games. It's 15 events in 5 days or 4 days or whatever it is. You just have to train your body to be on like that and kind of like rolling. And you know, Mark said, like, make your body a machine. Like, you have to train and you have to recover, like, you just have to teach yourself to do that. And if you take some time, like, it feels weird when we travel and take a day off. Like, we feel like, what are we doing? Like, we're normally moving all day.
Now, watching the workout you guys did here yesterday, which looked terrible. I mean, you guys didn't look terrible doing it. It just looked terrible.
Race right there.
Yeah, it was brutal. And then to know that you then went and trained in his garage after that, is like, I wouldn't do that. I mean, most powerlifters, honestly, it's like you get the. Back when we used to do pretty straight up conjugate, the Saturday workout, the dynamic squat workout, like, we would die. We would be dead. You go home and you go to sleep. Literally, just like pass out.
I remember for some reason every Saturday it seemed like I ended up at a movie after the squat session, and I'd pass out and miss the entire thing every single time.
You're just paying for a spot to sleep?
Yeah, because we would do 10 or 12 sets of 2 or 3 reps, and it was just, one guy after another, and the weights that we were using were way heavier than we're supposed to use.
High percentage, let's say.
Yeah, they weren't supposed to be as heavy as we were using, but you get excited and it just drains the crap out of you.
Yeah.
But the type of workouts that you guys do, they're much different. I try to explain to people a lot of times that if you're going on a walk, you don't need to warm up for a walk, because it's very low intensity. If you're going for a jog, maybe there's a little bit more thought into some sort of warm-up or stretching, but probably don't really need much of anything, especially if you're familiar with jogging. For the stuff that you guys do, I know that you guys are different because you do it so often that it's probably smart to always have some sort of warm-up and always have some sort of stretching. But for the stuff we did yesterday, we warmed up with like a bodybuilding workout.
Oh, really?
We did some curls, we did some incline bench, we did some lat pull downs and some seated rows.
Fluff and buff.
We went through it 4 times, and then we're like, all right, we're good. And then we started the workout, and the workout, again, for these guys, it can be intense because they can push, but there wasn't a lot of weight involved in anything that we were doing. So therefore, the intensity wasn't high, but they can move fast and they can expend a lot of energy. And I guess my point is like, for you and I to think about working out the way that we typically work out in a powerlifting sense, we're like, fuck, man, that's a long process. That's going to take me 45 minutes to get warm. That's going to take me an hour to get through it.
Right.
It's going to be fucking brutal. It's going to hurt. I mean, even the first set of squats, you're kind of feeling out your knee and your hip and so on. And it can be a real drag. But doing what they were doing, it's a much different feel. And you can kind of feel your way around through the workout. And it was kind of cool. CrossFitting.
Yeah.
What's the goal for you guys next? Obviously, you're pushing towards the CrossFit Games. What are you guys trying to do there? Just keep pushing each other in training until somebody blows up?
Yeah, we've got 2 months until regionals, and I think all of us kind of have the same goal of making it to the CrossFit Games, for Ben making it back. But
during the Open, a lot of people get, super crazy about the workouts. They repeat them. They do them 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, tell us what that was like.
I hate the Open.
It's awful.
It's just stressful because you're just in the Mid-Atlantic. You're competing against 12,000 people, so if you're 10 seconds slower than someone else, it's like 100 spots, and you could possibly not make regionals. So in order to stay in the top 20, you might have to redo a workout a couple of times or redo more than one workout. But it's just a stressful 5 weeks. Kind of messes with your training too. But
it throws a monkey wrench in your training. Do you guys kind of have it as, it being the guy that programs and being the veteran of the group, do you kind of just consider it like another workout?
I try to make it my first workout I do on Friday, and I take an easier day on Thursday. Like we'll work out once, maybe twice, but it's lighter stuff. It's not anything that's going to be super demanding. And then it's my first workout on Friday, and I try to be done with it. That's it.
Do you ever? Is there ever a scenario where you go through what's required at 50% or something, just to kind of like see?
Yeah, you can try that like the day before. You can maybe do a round or two of the workout, or a couple minutes of the workout, or maybe just some of the movements, that kind of thing, just to feel it out.
So I imagine kind of like in your head, you're going to be going back and forth between these 2 or 3 or whatever amount of things, and you want to have that kind of preset. Obviously, you have someone kind of walking you through that too, like someone's kind of guiding you to go wherever, because
you just got to mentally prepare yourself like for the workout, like kind of get ready for that. Do it in your. I like to, before I compete or before I do an event, I always do the workout in my head and feel how it's going to feel in my head, like pretend that I'm actually doing the workout. Right. Really helps me.
Do you think it's dangerous for people going through the open to maybe disregard their first time through it, thinking, well, I can just do it again? Do you think that that's a dangerous mindset?
I hate that mindset. Like, go in doing it, like go in and give it your all. Like I've never redone a workout and gotten a better score. Over the 8 or 7 years that I've done the open, I've never gotten a better score than the second time I did it.
That's the opposite for me. Yes. Every time I
don't know what it is. I can't get a better score the second time I do it. So I just do them once and I'm done, like for the last couple of years. These guys, you do them twice normally.
Yeah.
But, it's different for everybody's a little different.
Is there anything going on in your head that's different between the first attempt and the second attempt?
The first time I do it, I kind of get it. I mean, I'm trying to give it my all the entire time, but I get a little more feel for it. And I usually go real hard in the first part of the workout and then get really tired at the end of the workout and slow down a little bit. And I have a problem with pacing. And the second time I go through it, I kind of fix that. Like, I know that if I go really, really hard at the beginning like I did the first time, I'll die. So I just kind of pace myself a little more and then try to sprint towards the end. I usually do a little better.
Is that descriptive of your personality as you're learning new things too? You're like, you go one sort of trial run through something, and then the next time or the next couple of times after that, you feel like you get the mastery?
Yeah, it's a learning process. It's not just like, you can't really learn it in like from day to day. You have to learn it from the beginning of the year. I had to focus on trying to pace the workouts all through the year. So like if I go to regionals, you can't redo the workout twice. You can only do it once. And I want to try to, like, at regionals, just know in my head if it's like that kind of, if it's the workout you have to pace yourself on, to be able to pace it and not go at the gate and just die off.
One of my kids was a kayaker, and some kids would approach it, they just like run all the gates. And he would run one gate until he got it perfect, and then he would go to the next gate and run until it was perfect. It's like he couldn't approach it; he couldn't think about it any other way. Mm-hmm. And I maybe that's what's going on here. Is like you need to feel the whole thing out before.
And I think give him 5 more years of training under his belt. He's not going to have to redo the workouts because he knows exactly what that type of workout's going to feel like, and he knows his body well enough that he can pace it a little bit better. So.
Alec, can you tell me something about Ben that people don't know? People maybe should know. It could be silly, could be otherwise. Maybe he still sucks his thumb or sleeps with a teddy bear. Maybe he humps the bed or something. Can you share a room with him?
I don't know. It's kind of like my dad. Has to have everything like perfect.
Yeah.
Kind of like germaphobe-ish OCD type.
Wants everything set up a very particular way.
Yeah. If someone's sick, give him a high five. He goes and washes his hands immediately.
He loves conspiracy theories.
Oh yeah, that too.
That's great.
Get him talking about like the pyramids and
hey, man, I'm with
Atlantis,
flat, bro.
and Antarctica.
I'm in. Count me in.
Shaq and who else?
We were talking about that the other day.
Right.
It's crazy.
Dane, how about you? You got some dirt on Alec? Or what's something people should know about him?
Oh, man.
I don't know. He has this game on his phone. It's called Clash Royale. He plays every single day.
He plays nonstop.
Nonstop. He's like plays up with those Chinese people. Like that's all he plays now. He's matched with Chinese people.
Like, dude over there, he's probably texting chicks all day. And he's just playing a fucking video game.
He's almost sponsored.
He's almost getting there.
So after CrossFit, then esports, right?
Yeah, you have to have something. You have to have something like in your back pocket just in case.
That'd be amazing. Actually, that'd be a pretty good fit, right?
Nice transition.
Yeah,
rest time, right?
Yeah,
you need to rest somewhere.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You could do both at the same time.
Yeah,
Those just video game guys. They need to exercise too, right?
It gets your mind off of everything except the video game.
Yeah, very mind numbing.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm with you on that too. I got Super Mario Brothers on my phone.
There you go.
Now your mind's really blown. You're like, I didn't know that shit was on your phone.
You're gonna go download that later.
Ben, what do you got on Dane over there?
Dane plays that game also.
That's great.
Yeah. Not as much.
Not quite as much, but he still plays that game.
That's great.
Not as bad.
Yeah.
What about the female situation? You guys got girlfriends. We know, Ben, you're married, so you're out of the conversation for safety purposes.
I've got a girlfriend. I've been dating her for a few months now.
He's like, fuck, I gotta confess.
She lives in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Single.
There you go.
Been single for a while.
playing the field. All right, so you have the blueprint. You got some programming that you're sharing with people that you're doing online, correct?
Yep. So I offer like everything that I do and everything that these guys do, like how we all train together all day. I post up every workout we do, our times to beat. I answer questions if people have it. We have a Facebook page. There's a sign up on Beyond the Whiteboard. Do that kind of stuff and offer that for gyms as well. Our CrossFit Krypton gym has certain programming that we follow, and
that's cool. You have times for all three of you that are up that people can see.
Yeah, we do a lot of partner workouts and stuff, so we post a lot of good workouts. Like
do
fun
people
stuff
kind of message you like, hey, like I beat so and so on this workout kind of thing? Do people get excited?
They can. I mean, there's always cool. There like a time to compare to is pretty cool, or a time domain to compare to is pretty cool.
And so you're coaching individuals, and then you provide programming for like whole CrossFit boxes.
Yeah,
right?
so we've just started that, so that's new. We have two gyms that we program for now, and we're working on growing that a little bit. And but it's worked for our gym for the last 4 years, and just getting something out there that like gym owners have, their programming, they have their coaching staff and their community. And then they have what they can offer at the gym, like amenity kind of things. So like we would take care of that coaching, or we would take care of the programming part for you, so you don't have to spend your weekend focusing on what you're going to program for the next week at your gym. So
probably not everybody has the luxury that you have with like your mom handling some of the stuff with the gym, so they're trying to do both.
It's hard. Like I do just the programming, and it's a lot of work on the weekends. Like to have that taken care of, and to like know that it's something that's proven that helps a lot of other people. Like. And it's a cool, following CrossFit Krypton's program would be a pretty cool thing to do. So probably
nice to see other people succeed in ideas that, based on ideas that you came up with.
Yeah, it's awesome. So
how are you trying to build that? Because, it's hard to get the message out. You're trying to, build it through some social media platforms, things like that.
I created a new social media page, so the Ben Smith Blueprint on Instagram, and
cool.
We post some training videos of us. My mom just comes out and films some videos and puts them together and sends them to me, and I post them. So she helps out with that stuff too.
That's great.
Thanks, Mom.
Yeah, thanks, Mom. She's always there.
What about sponsorships and stuff? I know you have a few. You got Reebok, and you have me, and you have Rogue, right? And
Reebok, Rogue, Progenics. You guys,
right?
Arasti, and then the Mark Pro.
Cool.
So those are new this year, and they just make me able to do what I do every day. Right. So like I don't have to worry too much.
For you,
about anything.
It seems like most of your sponsors are kind of a very like natural fit.
Sure.
It seems like they're things that are byproduct of you kicking ass in CrossFit.
I've never called somebody up and asked for a sponsorship.
Right.
Like it's always just happened naturally.
You motherfuckers hear that?
Yeah. So I've never.
People always ask about sponsorship and how to get sponsored.
It's so true.
Kick a lot of ass.
It's so true. Yeah.
Kick a lot of ass.
Yeah,
that's all about.
I was in college. I was just in class one day, and I checked my phone, and I had gotten a call from Reebok. They wanted to sponsor me. Like, I heard you're pretty good at this CrossFit thing. I was like, oh, okay.
This CrossFit thing.
Yeah, that's what it was. It was this CrossFit thing. It was pretty cool. And
you're like, hold on a second. Let me get my agent.
Yeah, exactly. With a different voice, you know.
Yeah.
How's it going?
Yeah, that's the way to do it. You know, I'm a big UFC fan, and for years there was Chuck Liddell is a legend in UFC, and he was just a badass. He had the mohawk going and just kicked the crap out of everybody that he faced. And he had Tito Ortiz, who was always trying to hype things up, you know, just kind of with his mouth and stuff. And he was a great fighter too. He's a legendary UFC fighter, there's no question about it. But what I think Tito Ortiz may have missed the message of like, hey, you just go in the ring and handle your business and you're going to make a lot of money. And Chuck Liddell, without talking a lot, he ended up being a lot more successful than Tito Ortiz. So I think the point there is just, you know, kick a lot of ass in what you're doing and do it for a long time. I mean, you were probably slugging away for 5, 6, 8 years before any real opportunity came. You probably already made it to the CrossFit Games several times, right?
Yeah, I'd been there a couple times. It's just, you know, you do what you love, things will kind of take care of themselves. You'd be surprised.
Right. Yeah. And even if you do have to contact a sponsor, like, they should already know who you are, and even if they haven't reached out to you yet. I mean, that was kind of that's actually been kind of our experience with several of the sponsors that we have on the show.
8Man, been a big fan.
Yeah,
these guys, Movement
Watches. Yeah, like they already knew who we were. And they're like, yeah, but you know, they don't always know what the relationships are.
If somebody's not going to get it, they're not going to get it.
That's true. Yeah.
You shouldn't have to really sell them too much on anything you're trying to do.
Yeah, exactly.
How about for you guys?
We both are with Progenics too, so it's kind of like a brother thing with Progenics. And then Dane and I are both sponsored by Nike.
Yeah, I see those obnoxious swooshes. No, that's awesome. How did that come to be?
Just kind of through contacts and through knowing people, and I met Brent, and we just kind of stayed in touch. And
Cool.
I actually was with them, but not through contract for a year, and then just stayed in touch, and they liked to see what we were doing. And
cool.
Yeah.
I mean, that's another important thing for people to recognize too. It's like, you know, our affiliation with Monster. They send us some free stuff, and it basically just came through us talking about them on Twitter and drinking the Monster drinks on the show.
On the show, yeah.
And there's no contract or anything like that. It's just, you know, handshake, and they send us out some stuff. But I think that people aren't sometimes willing to put in any work. They'll just want to, hey, what's your sponsorship, you know, look like? And it's like, it doesn't look like anything if you're not already showing me what you can do. Right. And I mean, if it's somebody who's really high up the ladder, then maybe. But like my 2 people that I sponsor are one of the fittest men in the world and the strongest man in the world, and that's it. That's where it ends. Those are the people that I support. Are you guys kind of actively looking for more sponsors, or are you just kind of playing it kind of like the way Big Bro has done?
I'm playing it the way he's done because I'd feel more comfortable if I made it to the CrossFit Games and people recognize me instead of me reaching out and them not knowing who I am.
Right. Very cool.
And Alec's looking for that esports sponsorship.
Do you guys both work at the gym?
I do every once in a while. I watch the desk a little bit. I want to start coaching after regionals this year because I just got my associate's degree and I'm looking for something to do.
Ben, you gonna let him do that?
Yeah, he's coached before. He's dabbled in it a little bit, and he's just whenever, you know, as soon as he shows interest and has some time, we're ready.
And then gymnastics classes starting in the new gym.
Cool.
We'll have more space, more equipment.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you can coach that.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Do you guys get pissed at each other at all?
You know, not lately.
Like working together and lifting together.
I'm sure we will, but not lately. You know, it's on and off.
Brother stuff is weird.
It is.
You can get in like a real bad like blowout fight, and then everything's totally fine the next day. No one says a word about it.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
No one says anything about it. Everything's totally fine though. Still,
like you just have to live with them, you know.
Yeah, they're just part of your lives, and that's the way it is.
Stuck together by blood.
Yep. Go ahead and plug away your social media handles. Go ahead, Alec.
Instagram is AlecSmith8. Not very active on Twitter, but it's the same thing, AlecSmith8.
Why 8?
It's always been my number growing up. Jersey number, playing different sports, and it's just been a lucky number since I was a kid.
My Instagram handle is @DaneDoes. I'm pretty sure I put @Dane does because our Android in like high school is the slogan was Droid does, and somebody was like, you should just do Dane does. I was like, all right, I'll put it up there.
Everyone has
And
the
it's
same
just stuck.
story with their handle. It's always like because they couldn't pick something else.
Yeah. Mine's on Instagram, bsmith13. I don't know why I made that a long time ago. Just never changed it. It could just
Lucky
be
number 13.
everybody's named Ben Smith, so I can't use that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And the Blueprint handle.
Blueprint, the Ben Smith it's just at the Ben Smith Blueprint.
Website.
CrossFitKrypton.com, and it's on the programming is on BeyondTheWhiteboard.com.
There we go.
Yeah, some good stuff.
Awesome.
Multiply your hustle, multiply your muscle, and may all your shits be tapered. I'm at Mark Smellybell on Instagram and Twitter. Later.
Shout out to our sponsors, 8Man Apparel at 8manstrong.com, bodybuilding.com for all your supplement needs, Compex USA. Use the code PowerCast at CompexUSA.com. Get 28% off. Slingshot, obviously, howmuchyobench.net, bench heavy with no pain, Mark Bell's Slingshot, and The Power Magazine, the only strength magazine in digital and print. And Movement Watches, mvmt.com/PowerCast. Use that code PowerCast and get 15% off and free shipping. I'm the Jim McD on all the social medias where I want you to find me. Follow the show on Instagram. We are at Mark Bell's PowerCast.
Thanks, guys.
Yep, thank you. I need to work on my exit.